The truth about Princess Leonor and Prince Christian, the final night together. Everyone thinks they know how royal stories end. A palace lit quietly, a carefully arranged goodbye, a future already drafted by tradition, duty, and the crown. But here's the part that stops people cold. That night was not about romance in the way rumors described it, and it was not a secret escape, a forbidden ending, or a royal scandal buried by protocol. It was something far more human. And far more revealing about Spain's future queen. Because the truth is this, that final night changed Princess Leonor, not because of who she loved, but because of what she chose to release. And that choice still quietly shapes her path in 2025. Let's begin where the headlines stopped. The palace that evening felt different. Not tense, not celebratory, just still. Princess Leonor had lived many ceremonial nights, formal dinners, state receptions, public appearances scripted down to the second. But this was private. No cameras, no aides hovering just outside the door. No official schedule waiting to be initialed. Only time. Princess Leonor had returned from a demanding period of training in public duty, military preparation, constitutional briefings, international focus increasing with every passing month. By 2025, Spain no longer speaks of her as the future. They speak of her as the soon. With that shift comes pressure that doesn't shout, it presses quietly. Cristina was not royalty. That fact alone mattered more than most people admit. Cristina represented a life that didn't revolve around the crown, conversations that didn't need to be filtered, laughter that didn't echo through protocol, moments where Leonor wasn't, Your Royal Highness, just a young woman forming her identity. And that is why their connection mattered. But here's the truth most people misunderstand. This was not a dramatic love story cut short by royal decree. It was a conscious ending. Earlier that day, Leonor had been briefed on upcoming responsibilities. The tone had shifted. Her schedule expanded not just in volume, but in weight. More meetings with constitutional advisors. More exposure. More expectations, not from Spain's people, but from Spain's history. When a monarch in waiting reaches this point, choices stop being theoretical. They become irreversible. That night, Leonor didn't summon Cristina in secret. There was no escape plan. No whispered rebellion. Cristina came because she already knew. They had spoken earlier, honestly, something rarely afforded in royal narratives. No raised voices. No ultimatums. Just the quiet realization that the distance between who Leonor was becoming and the life Cristina lived was widening. And that distance had a price. Inside the room, the conversation unfolded slowly. They spoke about beginnings first, how they met, how accidental it all felt, how easy it was before it mattered. Leonor listened more than she spoke, which those close to her would later recognize as a sign she had already decided. Here's what matters most: there were no promises made that night. Only gratitude. Leonor acknowledged something few royals ever say out loud, that the relationship had given her a vision of normalcy she would never fully live, but would never forget. Cristina, in return, acknowledged something just as painful, that loving someone destined for the crown requires accepting a role that history does not allow. And then came the silence. Not awkward, not tragic, just heavy with understanding. People imagine tears. Some imagine defiance. But those who understand Leonor understand something else entirely. She processes duty not with coldness, but with discipline. When she finally spoke, her words were simple. She did not say goodbye forever. She said thank you. That was the finality. This is where rumor diverges from reality. There was no forbidden affection that night. No crossing of lines. No desperation. The intimacy was emotional, the kind that comes from recognizing a chapter closing while still honoring what it gave you. If there were tears, they came later, privately, without witness. Because that night wasn't about loss. It was about alignment. The next morning, Leonor appeared unchanged to the world. Composed, prepared, focused. But those closest to her noticed something different. She spoke less about herself. She asked more about Spain. That shift matters. By 2025, Princess Leonor had begun redefining what strength looks like in modern monarchy. Not isolation, not sacrifice performed loudly, but boundaries set quietly, without spectacle. Christina did not disappear from Leonor's life in bitterness. Their parting was clean, respectful, and deeply adult. That's not the story that spreads fast online. But it's the one that lasts. Royal insiders later noted that Leonor became more intentional in how she engages emotionally. She no longer allowed herself spaces that pulled her away from her center. Not because love was forbidden, but because distraction was costly. And that distinction is everything. Spain often wonders what kind of queen Leonor will be. That night offers an answer. She will be a queen who understands love, but does not lean on it to soothe uncertainty. A leader who allows emotion to inform her humanity, not dictate her direction. Christina, for her part, never sold stories. Never hinted. Never followed the narrative machine. That restraint earned quiet respect, even inside palace walls. Some connections don't end in scandal. They end in dignity. And here's the final truth, the one that reframes everything. That night was not about two people separating. It was about one woman stepping fully into herself. Leonor didn't lose love. She integrated it. She didn't walk away hardened. She walked forward clarified. By 2025, as Spain sees her stand taller, speak with more authority, and command presence beyond her years, few realize they're seeing the echo of that decision. The strength to choose long-term responsibility over short-term comfort doesn't arrive overnight. It is practiced. That night was practice. And it may be the quietest reason Spain's future queen feels so ready now. Not because she never loved, but because she learned how to let go without becoming smaller. That is the truth about Princess Leonor and Christina. And it's far more powerful than the rumors ever were.